welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video tutorial we're going to learn how to crochet step by step my beautiful tote bag Roxanne. It's being made by using the sidecanestrostitch, which is a very easy and very beautiful stitch. I'm sure that you're going to use it in many of your crochet bags from here on. This is how it looks from the bottom going to the top. Now, what I want to mention before I start my video, because this is an information that I just found out, is that when you attach your bag handles on your bag, there is a rule by the industries that make the bags, you know, that you buy from the stores, that in order for the bag handles to be correctly on the bag, they need to have a distance of about 16 centimeters. My bag handles are about 18, so I might just take them out and redo them at one point. Okay, this is how my bag looks on the inside. We're going to use the magnetic button, but if you know how to sew, it would be really nice if you can attach a zipper. It would give a nicer result. Okay, we're going to see the material that we're going to use in a second. I have used a total of 3 skeins of this cord over here, which is 50% polyester and 50% polypropylene. It's a very nice and a very strong cord to crochet bags, but it's also very light. So this makes our bags light and not heavy, because I've seen many people, they use the wrong yarn to crochet their bags and the bags come out very heavy. So from the 3 skeins, this is what I have left from the 3rd skein of yarn. So make sure you crochet this bag with a medium tension, okay, not too light and not too tight, because you're not going to be able to crochet through the stitches. Okay, as you go through, you are going to find the crochet tension to make your bag. So now let's see one by one the material that I'm going to use and how to start. Let's see one by one the material that we're going to use. Firstly, we're going to see the base of our bag, which is 100% leather. Okay, it's in brown color. Then we're going to see the bag handles, which they also are 100% leather in the same brown color. And see how nice they are with this belt buckle over here. Then we have the magnetic button with the loops up here, so we can easily sew on the bag in the end. Then we have the rope that we're going to use, which is 50% polyester and 50% polypropylene. It's one of the best ropes you can use to crochet a bag, because it's light, it's easy to crochet, because usually the ropes for bags are very hard to crochet and the hand starts hurting. Okay, so you want to use good material when you crochet your bags. And lastly, the lining, which is ready, cut and sewn for us. And the only store that you can find this is by Magenta Artsy Workshop. It's ready to sew on your bag by just sewing right here on the top. Other than that, the lining is ready. We have 3 pockets for our cell phone, you know, our keys or anything you want to put in the pockets. Okay, it's ready, sewn, and ready to line our bag. Now, the crochet hooks that we're going to use, they are 2. The one is my 3.5 millimeter, which is the crochet hook that I'm going to start crocheting on the base. And we want it to be small because we want to fit correctly in the holes of the base. And the rest of the bag we're going to crochet with the 5 millimeter crochet hook. So let's see how to start. Let's see how we're going to start crocheting on top of our base. I want to be looking on the good side of the base, and I'm going to be using my 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Now put your hook somewhere in the center, okay, somewhere in the center hole. Put the rope from the back of the base, and carefully, because the crochet hook is a lot smaller than we need for the yarn, so it's easy to pull out loops from the rope, so please be careful. So grab the rope and take it through the hole carefully. Now, extend the loop up until you reach the next hole in the base. Put in your hook, grab the rope from the bag and pull it through the hole and through the loop. Again, extend the loop until you reach the next hole, put your hook, grab the rope from the bag and pull it through the hole and through your loop. Again, extend your loop up until you reach the next hole, grab the rope from the bag, pull it through the hole and through the loop. Okay, so we are creating chains on top of our base. Okay, so keep creating chains all around the base, and once I reach the last hole over here, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to create the last chain over here so we don't have a gap. Okay, so we don't have a space without a chain over here. So once I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on. I have completed creating the chains all around my base, and what we're going to do now is we are going to see how to create the last chain over here, because we do not want to leave this gap open right here. So what we're going to do is cut your yarn, okay, cut the rope and pull your loop, bring the yarn up. Now put your hook under the first chain that we created, grab the rope and pull it under the chain, and now from the bottom to the top we want to put our crochet hook, to come out from this hole over here where we created the last chain. So from the bottom to the top we want to put our crochet hook, and we want it to come out from the center of the chain. Now grab the yarn and carefully pull it in the back. Okay, and we have created the last chain on our base. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot. Okay, we are going to burn the both ends because we do not want the yarn to start frogging itself, because this type of yarn, if you pull, it starts to frog itself, see? So make sure you burn the ends and then weave in the ends on the inside, in the wrong side of the base, under here of the loops that have been created. Once you have weaved in the ends, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to continue crocheting on our base. So I've completed weaving in my ends in the back, as I mentioned, and now I'm switching to my 5mm crochet hook, and we're going to start crocheting on top of those chains. So pick a chain somewhere in the center and put your hook under, and we are going to attach our yarn. So grab the yarn, pull it under the chain, chain one to join, okay, and under this chain over here I'm gonna work my first 2 single crochets. So in the very same chain that I had joined my yarn, I'm gonna work 2 single crochet. So 1, same stitch, 2. So as I go through to crochet on under the chains, I'm going to be crocheting this tail in as well, so I won't have to sew it in the end. Now under the next chain, put your hook under the next chain and work again 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, 2. Now the next chain, 1, same stitch, 2. So if it's not easy to work under the chain, just pick it up, with your nails and put under the hook. So keep crocheting 2 single crochet under every chain that we created on the base. Once I reach the end, right over here, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to continue. I've completed working 2 single crochet under every chain. Now put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and work a slip stitch and a chain 1. Now what we're going to do in row number 2, we are going to work 2 increases in every corner. So what we want to do is turn your base, and right here we have the corner of each side, okay, the corner of the base. What I want to do is, since this is the corner over here, I want to go in the hole that's before the corner, and I want to approximately see which stitch aligns with this hole over here, and it's this one right over here. Now again, this is the center, so I want the hole that's after the corner and align with, this hole aligns with this stitch over here. So from the one stitch marker to the other, I have 3 stitches distance, 1, 2, 3. This is important to remember. Now go ahead into the other corner right over here. Okay, the hole before the corner is this one, so the stitch that aligns with that hole is this one over here. And because I know that I have 3 stitches apart from each stitch marker, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 and put your hook in the 4th. And see how this is the corner, this is the hole before the corner. See how this is the stitch that aligns with that hole over here? Okay, so let's do it on the other side as well. So this is my corner. Oh, and from the one corner to the other, we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches apart. So go ahead and find, this is my corner over here. This is the hole before the corner, and this is the stitch that aligns with that hole. Now I know that I have 3 stitches apart from every stitch marker, so 1, 2, 3, and put your hook in the 4th. And from corner to corner, I know that I have a total of 7 stitches apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So put your stitch marker in the 8th. Count 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and put your stitch marker in the 4th. So if you check, you'll see that even though we went by counting, the stitch markers have fallen exactly where I want them to be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start crocheting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and in every stitch marker we're going to work 2 single crochets, so we're working increases. And what I have mentioned in other videos is if we keep crocheting in the same direction without turning the work, the hole that belongs to each stitch is on its top right. So this is the first single crochet over here. So this is the first stitch in which we're going to crochet into. Sorry, this is my first single crochet, sorry. So this is the first stitch we're crocheting into. Okay, so 1, next stitch, 2, next one, 3, next one, 4, and keep crocheting 1 single crochet in every stitch up until you reach the stitch marker. I've worked 1 single crochet in every stitch, and now I have reached my stitch marker. So take it out, and we're going to work our first increase. So in the same stitch that I have my stitch marker, I'm going to work 2 single crochet. So 1, same stitch, 2. So keep working 1 single crochet in every stitch, and every time you reach a stitch marker, you're going to work 2 single crochet in that same stitch. Once I finish my row, once I crochet right here, which is the last stitch, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to close the second row for the base and how to start the third one. I have completed crocheting all around. Now I'm going to put my hook in the first single crochet for this row to work a slip stitch. Now be aware this is not a stitch to crochet into because this is the slip stitch that I closed the previous row. So put your hook in the first single crochet for this row and work a slip stitch and a chain one. Now what we're going to do in row number 3 for the base, we're going to work only one increase in every corner, and we want to work the increase exactly on the corner. So this is the corner of the base, align it, and this is the stitch that belongs to that corner. Okay, this is my next corner right over here, and the stitch that aligns with that corner is this one over here. So count the distance again that we have in between the stitch markers. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches apart. So go ahead in the other side, this is the corner over here, the stitch that aligns with that corner, and I know that they have a distance of 13 stitches apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So on the 14th stitch I'm going to attach my stitch marker, and if you see, it's exactly on point right on the corner. Okay, so this row we're going to work the whole row of camera. We're only going to work the first stitch together because this right here is my first single crochet, and the stitch is on the top right that belongs to that single crochet. So this is my first stitch of the row. Now keep working one single crochet in every stitch, and on every stitch marker work 2 single crochet in the same stitch. Come here in the end. This is the last single crochet of the row. The top right is the stitch that belongs to it. So right here is the last stitch that I'm going to crochet into. This right here is the stitch, the slip stitch in which I do not crochet into. Once I finish my row, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to continue. I have completed crocheting all around, and now I'm going to put my hook in the first single crochet, and I'm going to work a slip stitch, chain one, and this is the last row in which we are going to work a slip stitch. From here on we're going to be working in the rounds continuously, and we're going to be putting a stitch marker in the last stitch of every row. What I want to show now is the back side. If you're crocheting correctly on the base, you do want to have the last rows coming out of the frame of the base like this. If this happens, this means that when you crochet the next rows now that are not going to be increases and your bag is going to start building up, those rows are going to start building up over here around the base, and your bag is going to look perfect. So this is how it should look after this is how the it should look on your base, okay, when you turn upside down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work the 4th row, in which we're going to work one single crochet in every stitch, and then we're going to start the design. In this row I have a total of 108 single crochet. Now depending on the holes that your base has, you might have a different number of stitches. Well, if you have an even number of stitches, which all of you are going to have, then you're okay, because the rule for this stitch is any even number of stitches. So even if you have 104 or 100 and so on, you're okay. Okay, so I have worked my chain, starting to work from the first stitch, which is this one over here. So the stitch that belongs to that single crochet is this one over here. So this is my first single crochet out of 108. And the last stitch, the 108th, is going to be this stitch over here. This is the last single crochet, and the stitch is going to be this one over here. So work off camera the 108 single crochet. Once I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to work the diagonal canestro stitch. I have completed crocheting my 108 single crochet. Now we're going to finish the row by working a slip stitch. So if you recall, before I closed the video, I said that we're not going to work slip stitches anymore. So sorry, but I was mistaken. We are going to be closing every row with a slip stitch, okay? So put your hook in the first stitch and work a slip stitch and chain one. Now we're going to start to make the design, and we are going to be crocheting in every second stitch. In every second stitch we are going to be working 2 stitches in every second stitch. So that's why we're always skipping the 1 stitch, because if we weren't, we were going to be working increases. Now that we've completed crocheting around our base, I want to show you how to work the side canestro stitch in a smaller scale so I can have my project close enough so you can see what I'm doing, because the first row after the plain single crochet, it's very important, as well as the rows that will follow, so the stitch comes out right. So we have worked our slip stitch and our chain one. Now we are going to be working in every second stitch. So this is my first single crochet of the row. This is the second stitch, and what I mentioned earlier in the video is that when we work in the rounds and we're not turning the work in every row that we continue, the hole that belongs to each stitch is the one that is on its top right. So this is the first single crochet. This is the first single crochet, and this is the hole that belongs to that stitch. Okay, it's the same stitch that we worked our slip stitch. Sorry. So this is my first single crochet. I'm going to put my hook in the second single crochet and see how the stitch has a right loop over here and a left loop down here. I want to be grabbing the left loop like this. So you really don't want to crochet really tight, because this is going to be really difficult for you to do. Okay, so you want to grab the left loop, and once you grab the left loop, you want to put your hook in this regular stitch of the next single crochet, so right in here. And we're going to work 2 single crochet in that stitch. So you're grabbing the left loop, you're pulling it out, and then you're putting your hook right in here in the stitch. And we're going to be working 2 single crochet in every second stitch, okay? So we have our slip stitch, the chain one, skip the first single crochet, and we're going to work in the second one. We're going to grab the left loop, put your hook in the next stitch regularly, and we're going to work 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, again grab the left loop, and again put your hook in the stitch to work the second single crochet. Okay, and this is how your work is going to look like. See how this already, the loop that we crocheted into has become diagonal? This is what we want to create. So go ahead and skip the next single crochet. Put your hook in the second stitch in the single crochet after that. Okay, so skip the first, put your hook in the second. Again, grab down here the left loop of the single crochet, put your hook in the stitch, and work your 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, so again grab the left loop, and again put your hook in that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Now again, skip the next single crochet, put your hook in the stitch after that. So again, grab and pull out the left loop. Now put your hook in the stitch and work your 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, 2. Okay, so we're going to work 1 more stitch together. We are going to skip the next single crochet, put your hook in the stitch after that. So again, pull out down here the left loop of the single crochet and put your hook in the stitch and work the 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, two. So see how the loops have become diagonal right over here by working on the left loop of every second single crochet. So keep working in every second stitch. This is why we need an even number of stitches when we are working the side canestro stitch. Okay, so keep working in every second single crochet. Once I reach the end, the last single crochet of the row, which is this one over here, when I crochet in this last stitch, I'm going to turn my video to see how to finish the row and how to start the next one. I have completed crocheting my row, and it's very important that you have the same number of stitches in the end of the row, because we might have been working 2 single crochet in every stitch, but we were doing it in every second stitch. So if you started with 88 stitches, you're supposed to have 88 stitches in the end of this row. If you had 100 stitches, you're gonna have 100 stitches, and so on. Okay, so now we're going to close the row together, and the way that we're going to close the row, we're going to be closing every row from here on, and the way that we're going to start the new row, we are going to be starting in the same way from here on as well. Okay, so usually we put our hook in the first single crochet of the row and we work a slip stitch. Well, for this stitch we're not going to do that because we want to have the ending of the row to seem as if it's the continuation of the stitch. So you're not going to be able to be seeing the slip stitch from the front on the good side. You're only going to be able to see it on the wrong side, on the inside of your project. Okay, so this right here is the first single crochet of the row. So I'm going to put my hook from the back to the front of that first single crochet. I'm going to grab the loop and I'm going to pull it back, and I'm going to tighten up a little bit. Okay, now make sure this loop does not frog. Okay, so you want to hold it, and I'm going to take out my crochet hook now. And what we want to do is, this was the first single crochet, and this right here is the second single crochet of the row, and you're going to be able to see it by the diagonal line right here. Okay, so this is the second single crochet. So what we want to do is, you want to put your hook to grab that left loop of the single crochet, then go ahead and put your hook in the next stitch, grab the loop, grab your yarn and pull it through the loop and through your stitch. Okay, now I'm going to chain 1, and in that same stitch I am only going to work 1 single crochet. So again, grab that left loop, put your hook in the single crochet and work 1 single crochet. So this is how you're always going to be starting every new row. Now keep working in the same exact way we did so far. Skip the next stitch, put your hook in the next one, grab the left loop, put your hook in the next stitch and work 2 single crochet. 1 same stitch. So again, grab the left loop and put your hook in the next stitch and work 1 more single crochet. Okay, again, skip the next stitch, put your hook in the next one. So grab that left loop of the single crochet, put your hook in the next stitch and work 2 single crochet in the same stitch. 1 same stitch, 2. Okay, so see how here the diagonal line right here has started to form. Okay, so keep working in the same exact way, keep working 2 single crochet in every second stitch. Once I reach my last single crochet that I'm going to have to work into, I'm going to turn my video back on to do it together, and then we're going to close the row 1 more time together, and from there on we're going to work off camera because every row finishes and starts in the same exact way. I am almost done crocheting. Now we're gonna finish the last stitch together. So this right here is the last single crochet. Okay, we're skipping the next one and putting our hook in the last one. Okay, so we do want to grab this left loop again of the single crochet, and then we're gonna put our hook right in here, which is every time that we work the slip stitch, and so we hold the loop from the back to the front and we pull it tight. This right here is that loop. So this is where you want to be putting your hook in the end of the row. So go ahead and put your hook on that left loop of the single crochet, as we always do, and put your hook up here and work your 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So 1, same stitch, 2. Okay, so this is the end of the row. Now we do want to work our slip stitch, but see how the distance, the gap over here is so big? Okay, don't be afraid, you haven't made any mistakes. This is how it's supposed to be. What we're going to do now is we're going to work the slip stitch in the same exact way we did in the previous row. So we're going to put our hook from the back to the front in this stitch, but if you recall, we only worked 1 single crochet in this stitch over here. So we do want to put our hook from the back to the front over here to work our slip stitch, but then the loop that we're going to grab is the left loop of this very same first single crochet. So we're going to grab this loop and we're going to work our first stitch to begin our row with. Okay, so put your hook from the back to the front of the first single crochet of this row, grab the loop, pull it to the back, and what we want to do now is pull to tighten up and bring together the 2 ends. Okay, so you want to hold that loop over there. So after working the slip stitch, now we want to put our hook in the left loop of this first stitch over here. Sorry. And in the stitch of the next stitch, as we always do, okay, grab your loop from the back, grab your yarn and pull it through the loop and through the stitch in the same exact way we did earlier. Now work 1 chain, and in that same stitch work 1 more single crochet. So again, grab the left loop, put your hook in the next stitch and work 1 single crochet. So this is how you're always going to be starting your new rows. Now go ahead in the next stitch, grab the left loop over here, put your hook in the next stitch and work your 2 single crochet. 1, same stitch, 2, and keep going in the same exact way. See how the side canestro has formed 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal lines with the row that we're starting now. Look how nice it looks, nice and neat. So keep working in the same exact way. Keep closing the rows in the same way that we just did the row that we just finished, and begin every row in the same exact way we started this row over here. Once I complete crocheting, I'm going to turn my video back on. I'm going to mention how many rows of the side canestro I have worked up to that point, what's the height at that point, how many centimeters, and then we're going to see how to continue from there on.